United States in a state of panic. A 6-year-old mechanic escaped from a hospital in the northern United States in a state of panic, shouting. Shocking news. A 42-year-old mechanic escaped from a hospital in the northern United States in a state of panic, shouting, "They want to take my organs." At first, police believed he was delirious after a minor accident, but 2 hours later, a raid changed everything. The man, Mark Delcourt, was admitted for a minor injury, but his file had been altered to irrecoverable, and he was moved to a technical/maintenance wing. The doors were locked, the cameras were turned away. Mark heard two people whispering, "No family, we start tonight." In panic, he ripped out his IV, crawled into a ventilation duct, and escaped. Police thought he was still panicking, but Mark insisted there are more people alive in there. At 0047, a special tactical unit raided the basement. They found 4 patients strapped down, one lying on a table next to a tray of surgical tools stained with dried blood. Behind a false wall, they discovered a secret room containing 6 unregistered medical refrigerators and 28 files marked with a red X. The American public is in shock. A hospital, supposedly the safest place, suddenly appears to be the most dangerous for patients without family by their side.
Did you know a single nurse uncovered doctors who were literally killing patients for their organs? In 2017, ICU nurse Heather Williams noticed something disturbing at her hospital. Patients were dying unexpectedly, and their organs were being harvested within hours. No family meetings, no proper consent forms, just rushed removals. She started tracking the deaths and found a horrifying pattern. The same 3 surgeons were involved every time. When she checked the consent documents, she discovered they were all forged. These doctors were selecting healthy patients and letting them die for profit. She secretly recorded their planning meeting and heard them discussing victim selection. When they discovered her investigation, they threatened her life. But her evidence triggered federal raids. 12 people were arrested and hundreds of lives were saved. Her courage exposed one of the largest organ trafficking rings in medical history.
Sold his kidney.
Nasikia vibaya sana, kama najichukia.
Amon was in desperate need of money when he got a promising offer, $6,000 for a part of his body from a company that operates worldwide, MedLead. Sabine from Germany bought a kidney in Kenya.
Ja, da war ich jetzt vielleicht, oder bin ich vielleicht dann schon egoistisch, weil ich wollte halt diese Niere und Hauptsache der Vertrag passt.
For you can give me that argument that I'm not an organ donor because if I go into a hospital and they know that I'm an organ donor, they're not going to work as hard. I'll be able to harvest your kidney because the harvest is quite lucrative for those hospitals.
Okay, well, I had never thought of that because I guess I didn't realize that, like, hospitals, if I donate my liver, someone's going to sell it.
Well, dude, somebody's making some money.
I thought they just go into a pool of organs.
I don't think, no. I've heard people.
All right, first and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rukaha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS who I learned from. Shalom to the whole elect preaching His word in truth and in sincerity to you ribs, to you sisters out there learning in silence and staying in order. I say to you all, Shalom. You know, if you don't know by now, or if you haven't heard, there's a opt-in or opt-out organ donor on your ID, your state ID. If you opt in to be an organ donor, that means that the hospital could deem that you're not going to make it, right, for whatever reason. And, they could take your parts, and that'll be it. In some states, right, they automatically opt you in, and you have to go through loopholes to be opted out. I believe in Florida, you would have to remove yourself at the registry, and then apply that you're not one, you're not an organ donor. And in some cases, some lawyers will say, if you are going to be an organ donor, which I don't recommend at all, don't know where they're going. You don't know what's going on with your body parts. You know, and some people, some lawyers would say, do it through the medical field, and you know, give them specific ways and you know, like decisions. Like, hey, you know, I only want these parts taken out, or I want, you know, my family to benefit from it, or I want to donate it to a hospital, or, you know, to a school. Things like that. You know, that's what the lawyers say, but, you know, I don't recommend doing that at all. You know, this place is just wicked as hell, man. The more time goes on, the more it is revealed. Right, and this is why the wicked wants to get rid of false, quote-unquote, false information, so they can control the narrative. Because, you know, with these devices, right, the knowledge shall increase. You know, at our fingertips, we have computers and cameras at the same time, and we can share information, you know, and blow the horn on things. You know, sound a whistle, whatever. And now that with this AI stuff, they're muddying up the water of information, and also making it illegal for you to go against their narrative. Right? The scriptures say that it is high time to awake out of sleep, and the people are waking up, right? But mostly this is talking about the truth, right? For Jakes, the elect, to wake out of sleep. You know, but at the same time, even the masses are waking up to the bullshit. This is why, you know, it makes it prevalent for, you know, 2nd Ezra 15 and 14, you know, where, you know, the people, there should be submission to men, right? And the course of their actions shall stand in their power. I believe that's what it says. You know, it's lucky if I butchered it, but, you know, the people are going to arise against the machine, so to speak, and prevail. And that's what they're afraid of, man. This is why they want to control information. They want to hang on to power. You know, but back to the whole harvesting thing, man. Like, this man will do anything, you know, for $1, off the backs of anybody or off the pain of anybody. No remorse, no moral ethics, right? And I guarantee it. You know, if you go into that hospital, you go into the research, I bet my bottom dollar, man, that, you know, Amalek got something to do with it. If you know, you know. Because they got the power to do so. And Amalek is just the head tribe of Esau. That's all. They all gotta go. I believe this year is gonna be a year of a major FF, man. You know, they're getting desperate, so they're gonna need a lot of distraction. A lot of distraction. Right? Like, more so than we already got, because we already got, you know, social media and, you know, entertainment. They got the Olympics going on this year. Which, don't get me started on that. I don't know if y'all saw the open ceremony on that one, where they had the red pentagram lit up. All right, all bread and circus. Right, this is a tactic that the Romans used. But yeah, man, if you got that, you know, if you got a chance to remove that organ donor off your ID, do it. Because, you know, they care less for Jake than anybody else. If they're doing it to Esau, Esau jump out that window. He looked like Esau, but, you know, we don't know. But still, you know, they had a secret door with like 5 coolers. And you saw how they raided it. They raided that place with, you know, like special ops type shit. Like, that wasn't cops. That wasn't like, you know, that means that they know about it. And You know, they executed it as if it was a organized crime type shit. Who knows, man? But the point is that this is the ones that they found out about. Imagine the ones they haven't found out about. You know, how much does a liver go for? You know, how much does a kidney go for? All for filthy lucre's sake. But yeah, man, that's all I got on that, man. I just wanted to share that and make sure you all take that off your IDs and share and let the people know, man, not to do that, because they're stealing body parts. Right? I wanna give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Kahakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS where I learned from. Shalom to the hopeful of life, preaching this word in truth and in sincerity to you ribs, to you sisters out there learning in silence, staying in order. I say to you all, Shalom.